Oh, hello?
Hello?
Dan. I didn't touch any mic, but are we heard? Hello? Stream?
Can you hear us now? Okay. Welcome back to the Elite Series Division 2 then, everyone, and sorry that it took a second that you can actually hear us. I think production had a little bit of a fuck up there. But it's no worries. To my side, still the wonderful
and I was like,
QG.
Daniel, you said a wrong word. Take it back, take it back. They're gonna shut us down.
And we are going to see the derby between Dynasty and PERTINAX. And I'm really hyped for this last game of the day. Dynasty will really have to prove something in my opinion, because so far their start into the split hasn't been the strongest. They are 2-0 currently. And then we got PERTINAX were 1-1, who had a very strong game, which was a loss in the end, but they had a very strong performance against ESLOL last week. And then, of course, they took the win against Once Upon a Team on Thursday.
Yeah, it that's the last match of the day, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the last match of the day, that's correct.
Yeah, it's still everything is open still on the first few weeks. But we see that it's Dynasty and PERTINAX. Also, last split also a very good Dynasty with the Dynasty into the hopes. The hopes were up for them. PERTINAX who were on the who got fourth last split. Fourth. They got last, second, fourth, I think, if I remember correctly. In the last game. Yeah, but it's still a thing to just. I think this phase of the split is still to look where we are. It's still nothing is carved into stone. Everything is like, yeah, we try out stuff. Maybe we try out a style of team fight comp that went good in scrims, and we now can just play against played against that team. Maybe that works because it were because in scrims, let's say Dynasty won against Rift Sloths and the PERTINAX won against the Sloths too, and now you know, okay, both won in scrims against each other, and yeah, they beat them. So how did they beat them? How did we beat the Sloths? Maybe it was an example, you know, but how did we beat them? How can we get the things from the scrims into the games? How are we feeling? Are we feeling good? And so on and so on. And this is just the thing you have to do. So I think it's going to be an interesting last game. Also, who is where is also interesting. But I think we are going into champ select. And what do you think, Daniel? What will we have here? Is it going to be a Zoomy? Is it going to be a?
I'm pretty confident that we are going to have a ban on Zeri. I think we are going to see some focus on Dark UniQ in terms of bans as well against Dynasty. And also the PERTINAX AD carry has been performing pretty well, and especially their AD carry Makala. So those are the players we have to be looking out for during this champ select, as we are starting into it. Dynasty against PERTINAX. First ban going to be Maokai, which Makala indeed showed a very strong performance. I think it was on Wednesday last week. And then it's going to be Kha'Zix as well.
There's also
and on the other side,
There's also Dark UniQ's Draven. who showed up last split actually.
I think there's Dark Uniq's everything. I mean, Dark
Yeah,
Uniq
he's a good
really is
carry.
the star player here on that Dynasty roster, but so far he is a star that hasn't been able to shine in the split. And then of course we also have Frankie remaining from the last from the spring split, which in my opinion was never really the kind of super carry mid laner. He's a very solid mid laner. He's never really the reason Dynasty loses, but he's also not uh, essentially the reason why Dynasty can take a win. He's just a solid, stable base line to this Dynasty roster. And now we also see the Nautilus here, and it's going to be a Blitzcrank being picked. Probably being picked. We're still waiting for it. But
As a first pick,
yeah,
it would be
kind of interesting.
yeah.
Unexpected.
You normally take these power picks, but I think you're going for an Ari is a good thing. She got banned twice today, and there we have the lock in. Now yeah, you still have the Lucianami is up again. You still have that. Xayah Rakan you can pick up. It's still pretty nice. You can probably hit that too.
Yeah, could be Xayah Rakan here. Could as well be Xayah with any other aggressive supporter, but of course, if Rakan is open, that is a perfect synergy that you can pick for your bot lane. So it would make sense to pair those two up, and we can see exactly that being picked. I think bot lane that PERTINAX should be very comfortable playing here. And yeah, as we talked about, Saya, Mr. Hub, one of the strong players here also on that PERTINAX roster. So giving him a strong carry to do something with makes sense. On the other hand, however, we also see the Dynasty bot lane now is going to be Jinx Lulu, so the bot lane probably just as strong, if not even stronger, especially when it comes to scaling and late game potential. And you look like you want to tell us something.
This is an actually this is an interesting, before Lissandra went in, this was an interesting state of pick and ban. Like, do you want to take a jungler because 3 junglers are banned, or 2 junglers are banned, or do you want to take a counter pick for the Ahri, and then you have to wave out what is more important? Do you want a good jungler, or do you want to counter pick into the mid lane? And this is the takeoff you need to do in this kind of situations. PERTINAX said, okay, the Lissandra is more worth it than a good jungler. Maybe we know that Makalar can play everything. Vi is still open, Wukong is open, Gragas is open, you know, these chams are open. And you also can.
So far, we can also see that both teams are focusing a little bit on banning top laners out here that they don't want to see. We see an Ornn ban, we see a Malphite ban, so sometimes tanks being banned here for both Hazaki and Electro. Which of course makes sense with the current top lane meta being very tanky, very teamfight heavy. And we also see a Jax here.
Wet Newly. Yeah, there will probably be another top lane ban. Yeah, there's no wind in this division anymore, so we still go for the Olaf ban.
True, wins Olaf. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Memories coming back. What a wonderful player. I wish them just the best of luck for their journey into Div 1.
And I also think they stayed at the same team, right?
Yeah, Myth, formerly known as Sweepers, stayed exactly the same roster. They have just been picked up
Myth.
by an organization, by Myth Esports.
That's impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the Wukong is
Wukong,
here, as I told before. The Wukong is good. The Gragas also. These were up. Good junglers right now. You can also go top. But, oh, the Grace, yes. Bit of kitings have ranged.
Kindred. It's going to be a I love seeing Kindred, to be honest. I absolutely love Kindred. If executed well, she can do wonderful things to a team.
Yeah,
And
didn't you see a good kin? You didn't see a Kindred this weekend, right? On your own
uh,
tournament, didn't
I
you?
don't know. But we definitely need a tank, in my opinion, now here on the side of Dynasty. And they're going with a Renekton. So, very aggressive top laner they are picking up here. And in my opinion, even though they have some peel, like with the Kindred ultimate, with the Lulu ultimate, and in general just the Lulu, but they don't really have tankiness on their team, which could hurt the Jinx in longer team fight when you don't have that solid front line that will survive a decent amount of time.
Yeah, and these PERTINAX comp looks pretty stable. They want to engage and pick one out, and the Dynasty one looks like a kiting comp. They have more range. They have one front line with the Renekton, who is I think is not going to be that beefy against these champs. Just getting bursted down by with the help of Wukong and Xayah here, but the Dynasty drafted also against the Xayah. Yes, Xayah, you want to kite back for your feathers, and here Dynasty is kiting back with the range they have. So the Scion goes in front, they hit the Scion, and the feathers of Xayah are going to be useless because she's good at kiting back, but she's not good in kiting forward. So the front to back of PERTINAX is weaker than the front to back of Dynasty, and therefore you have like these little things I guess that you can you have to take care of in the fight. The yeah, Dynasty also want to pick some people with the Ari, so they go pick in, tuck, kill it, and then Jinx can run out and back away from the Xayah, and it's going to be a hard time for the Renekton because he has to run into the Xayah, and she can just kite back, hit the feathers, root you, damage you, and Rakan does the thing, and then it's gone. You know, it's hard for the Renekton, but it could be a possibility. If he's fed, he's just going to one-shot her anyway. So I think this would be a good sign. But wait, who was on top lane? It was the wait, am I
Anyways, let's
goldfish?
start into the game. Elite Series Div 2. Dynasty
Sorry.
against a Pertinax. The Dutch Derby, as I like to call it. Both teams being ready right now to start into the game. And we've talked a little bit about both champ selects, about both team compositions here already. And let me quickly ask you, which team do you think won the champ select here?
Um, whew. Eh, that's a hard thing. I think personally, I still go with the go button. And how many do you see on either team, Danielle?
Go buttons.
Yeah.
A lot.
On which
Especially
side?
on Pertinix side.
Okay, so who has more go point yeah, go points.
So yeah, Pertinix.
Yeah, so who has the upper hand? Right, PERTINAX. Nice, Daniel. You won the $10 question for the Euro Million now.
And we are going into a break right away as well, okay?
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay, so you're saying PERTINAX has more go buttons, so they are going to be the winners here.
we can still. Do we want to take the questions and you answer it? And I'll tell you my
In my
opinion about
opinion,
it.
Dynasty is in a better spot here, because Dynasty, they have got a Kindred, and I love a Kindred, and they got a Jinx, and I love a Jinx, and it's totally biased.
Yeah, I know you're a Jinx fan. Don't you have a? Yeah, there's also Jinx in your background, so you're a true Jinx fan. A bit to the left, right? Yes.
Oh, my camera is very unreactive. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, but that is the thing you can you, the Kindred is good for the burst potential, but there's also some DPS and CC, AoE CC. So I think it's going to be hard.
I think the only thing Dynasty is really lacking here is tankiness. They will have a problem of keeping their carries alive and dealing the damage they have to deal. Of course, they got a Kindred ultimate, which can really help with that. But in general, I think Renekton is just not enough to get that job done. And through that, I think PERTINAX really has an opening here. And I think in general, the PERTINAX team comp is way more early game focused. They got a Wukong, which is very strong early on. They got a Lissandra, which can do a lot in the early to mid games. And then Xayah Khan is just such a strong bot lane, even early on. And we can see it here already. Wonderful double knock up there from Leolas. Some damage being dealt by Mr. Herb to the Dynasty bot lane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, what Dynasty
Even
is
though
lacking.
my heart is with Dynasty, I think my analyst is with PERTINAX.
Yeah, Dynasty is also lacking some CC. How do you want to lock down these targets?
I mean, you got the charm from Ari, which can help. You got kind of a knock up on a Lu ultimate, I guess, and you get one person's stun on Renekton. But indeed, you don't have a lot of CC compared to PERTINAX, especially, which got tons of CC, especially on champions like Rakan, who has a wonderful charm, who has just basically that kid is made up of CC. You got Wukong with a big multiple target knock up. You got Lissandra, which has a multiple target. Wood. So yeah, in
So-
terms of CC, PERTINAX definitely has the upper hand.
It's going to be hard. But let's see if they can actually do the things we think they can, or if they don't. So
Yeah, we will have to find out. Kindred now in the vicinity of the bot lane there and goes right after the camps there of Wukong, or at least she tries to. But we are being shown another one of these meanwhile on top lane situations there. And now we see Humalu just coming out of the enemy jungle there. Both teams meeting for the first time. Grab is being done here.
Oh.
No, wonderful charm there from Dari, but it's going on to the clone. Makla just in time pressing his W.
yeah, I think. Yeah, and Lisandro already goes back for. Oh!
Ooh, perfect charm coming in there, and Kindred is dealing a lot of damage, even flashing behind into Makla, but he simply doesn't care. It's going to be first blood here for Dynasty, who are playing very aggressive with that Kindred early on.
Yeah, and Yeti fight just backed on a ward, and therefore he was seen and catched out. There was also actually a lot of single target damage with the Kindred. I don't think the Kindred got a mark, because I think she has the mark on Makala here. But I wanted to say that Yeti fight started with a Sapphire Crystal, and because of the reduction of the Lost Chapter, you just Lisandro just goes back at 4 minutes and buys the Lost Chapter. And we have the trades. Electro gets some health out of the... so in longer terms, if you have Grasp, right? In the longer terms, you win your... you win these fights. In the longer terms, because you get health every time. You hit someone, I think it's 4 health. And yeah, well, if you get 10 stacks, you have 40 health. And yeah, you're not that strong in these fights, but you scale better with it than with Conqueror for the laning phase. But this is still even. Well, Dynasty is 1k ahead. That's the farm of top lane, and 3 cams more for the Kindred. And Dynasty is also, the bot lane plays really aggressive. Makler is here. The mark is on the Gromp. Now you have to take the question: do we take the mark or do we just do Dragon? And they say we do Dragon. Let the mark be. This Dragon is really good for Lulu, Renekton, and Ahri for the heals and shields. And next one is Fire Dragon. Mark is taken. And I see that the map is split up. Kindred and Wukong are not going to meet each other in the jungle anyway. And
Ooh, and a little bit of an engage there on the bot lane. Peplot, even Ignite is being popped, but he should be safe here as Dark Infinity is now trying to get some damage out himself. Will, however, fail at doing so. Nice aggression there being shown from the PERTINAX bot lane. However, Kindred, of course, still in the vicinity. Dynasty in a good spot to maybe... Yeah, and they are going in with a little bit of a bait there for the PERTINAX bot lane. Mr. Hub already very low, and it's going to be the kill for Kindred here. Leolas very low as well, has to flash over the wall. In the end, it's going to be a trade 1-for-1, but you will trade your support for the enemy AD carry any day.
yeah, and it was also a good tank from the Kindred. Wukong is top, Kindred is bot, so, and she also gets a mark here from the Scudder Crab, so that's pretty lucky. But we see Lulu is also roaming because she has nothing else to do. The Triforce build for Kindred is also pretty common right now at this point. And there's nothing else to say actually at this point.
No, and there's also nothing else to be watched, so we are watching the top lane again.
But Daniel, there's more action in these minutes than in the last 3 games.
I totally agree. Dynasty also have been able to, or are able to take a Rift Herald here without any contestation. So actually getting first wake and first Rift Herald without PERTINAX contesting any of these objectives here.
Yeah. I'm confused about the Lissandra skin. She almost looks like Seraphine. I thought, what is Seraphine doing in this game? Isn't it Lissandra? But yeah, there's going to be a dive here on on bot lane, on top lane, and
Yeah, Makla is coming in, and so is Yetified, and they're just going to take apart Dark Unique there. Wonderfully played, and Lulu is
wow,
the
nice
next
dive.
one. Is going to go down as well. Perfectly executed there from
Yeah,
PERTINAX, who, in doing so, are able to close the gap in terms of gold to Dynasty a little bit. Will be able to take also some platings there on the bot lane, as now Dynasty, of course, takes profit from the situation to push in the mid lane. Are going to pop their Rift Herald here. Plating gold going to both of them. Ooh, nice interruption there of the backports. Both of them with the Jinx Rocket.
yeah, but there's no Jinx rockets for potential Dragon Steer or anything. For the next fight at the Dragon, maybe.
The cooldown isn't that long. Jinx Rocket will be up again before the break is up.
Isn't it 2 minutes at level 1?
No. It's way less.
So it's 90 seconds.
Yeah, look, it's already halfway back up.
Damn. These 80 carry cooldowns.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ash Arrow. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, look at Lux ult. 15 seconds. Yeah, but Ash relies on her
On
ult.
her ultimate to be an actual champion. I agree.
There's another mark, so if Hasaki takes this. And the dragon is also spawning. Yeah, the Dark Unicorn pushes out the wave, and Xynorcon are pushing back against it.
Yeah,
There's the
Dynasty
engage.
already in place here, but Makla is looking for the engage and will find so. And they are finding purchase on the Kindred, so the jungler there, Humulu of Dynasty, is already going down, which is of course a bad thing if you want to contest a dragon. Now we have Electro flashing behind the Lulu, they are trying to get the kill, and he will eventually get it as well. So as the dragon. Going to PERTINAX here. Frankie trying to find some purchase there on Utified. However, will not get that kill. The Sandra just too mobile for him. But this play going to PERTINAX here, definitely, who are showing that they are also a team to be calculated with. Both teams still pretty even here. And definitely a stronger Dynasty we are seeing today.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a team who lost in the first 2 games in the first week. It looks different. They are. They probably sat on the weekend until yesterday. They were saying, yeah, we need to improve that and that and that. So they did. Then you can see that they are playing pretty aggressive here with the Kindred. Well, they have to get the marks, but Maklar is on point with these takes on the craft. Oh, there could be a dive here.
You mean Makala?
Yeah,
Because he's
Mar.
denying the marks. Ha,
Yeah,
ha,
ha,
ha.
ha, ha.
I don't think this is going to be a dive, because they're simply going to take the tower.
Yeah, but Humalu takes a lot of damage, so it's probably a dive. So
They're diving the tower for the tower's life.
yeah, yeah.
Now, rotation towards the bot side here from Dynasty. However, PERTINAX, who can smell them coming, and now retreating from the tower here.
Yeah, well, what?
small lead on the bot lane for PERTINAX.
There's okay.
Go ahead.
So Humulu, yeah, I wanted to say that there was a mark, and Humulu just got the mark, but there's a gank.
Ooh, nice charm there from Frankie onto Magla. However, the damage not quite there yet to totally burst him. Like UniQ, who joined the rest of his team here in the mid lane. As both teams are, of course, setting themselves up here for that Rift Herald. The only objective up with a 2-minute timer on the dragon. And Dynasty, who seem to have teased the poor Scuttle Crab.
There's a flank.
Big crab there. And it is the engage from Renekton here into the back line. But here we can see the problem of the Dynasty teamfight composition. They really need that Kindred ultimate to be able to do anything. And in the end, it's going to be a double kill here for Xayah, for only 1 kill on the side of Dynasty. And it's going to be PERTINAX who are successful here in winning this fight over the Rift Herald. And yeah, that's what I talked about in the Champions Select. They are missing frontline. I mean, Hazagi, the engage was perfect. He went in there beautifully, but he was down just as fast, or almost down just as fast. He was able to save himself into the Kindred ultimate, but that meant that Dynasty had to use the Kindred ultimate way too early, and in the end, they just hadn't a long enough fight to really get their damage across.
Yeah, and Xayah can just stack up the feathers of the undamaged people, and if the ult pops, you press E and it just bursts everyone down. So there's that in actually helping with Kindred ult. But you saw everybody was low, almost everybody had to use the Kindred ult to stay in, so there was a lot of AoE damage from the top side here, from Cyan, Wukong and Lissandra. You have to take care that you don't die, and that you don't get hit afterwards with this thing. So this is some things. But yeah, the Kindred already has the Primal Smite. See that Makula is a bit behind on one camp only. And they are on Dragon. But it's not the best Dragon anyway, so probably Dynasty, they don't care about it. They better take some camps away. There's also a mark. I think Makula just took it. Yeah, he took it. There's a red buff, confirmed for PERTINAX. Okay, hello. Ooh. Camera.
We are jumping between situations, but we are claiming the bot lane one as Frankie is getting destroyed by the PERTINAX squad here. Kill going to, I think it was to Yiddify. As they are keeping on pushing, further extending their lead here on the bot lane.
There's another pick.
Probably be able to take the tower there, and now Humulu is also getting picked up. PERTINAX, who are pushing here and making more and more pressure onto Dynasty, and now even taking the tier 3 tower there on bot lane. Hazagi, however, will be able to get the kill there onto Yiddify, and maybe even onto Makala if he's able to find him. Flash coming out from him, but Graplot and Hazagi are still on the one there. Oh. They don't want to push it too much. Jinx Rocket even hitting there.
Yeah, but Wukong has too much base armor to get a kill at this with these items. Yeah, but I think PERTINAX, they're still on the game, and there's unfortunately again a mark on the Grump. So Kindred doesn't have 4 marks yet at 19 minutes. Else they would spawn deeper, I think. when Frankie is going to get or hit a bit. I see that the camera action is on point.
Yeah, camera going a little bit crazy here right now, but at least we see something else and only top lane, so I'm already happy now about that.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of top lane noodle fights this game.
Yeah, because we had some actual action in this game. I mean, we already have more kills than I think in some games during the entire time.
No, yeah, well.
And now, maybe even the next fight here, as PERTINAX and DYNASTY are once again clashing onto each other around that Baron pit here.
Yeah, they want to deny the mark again, so we're going to stay there. Oh, that was...
Ooh, Frankie tried to go for the charm there, but gets surprised by 3 members of PERTINAX and will be taken down by Etified in the end, who is bursting his flash for therefore. Hazagi tries to come in from behind, but has to flash out here as well, because PERTINAX, they are just always everywhere in these fights. Humelu going a little bit forward, trying to deal some damage, however has to push his ultimate now. That might be an opening here for them to deal a bit more damage, but it just won't work out for them, as PERTINAX is now really diving deep here, taking out one after the other. A lot of damage coming from Mr. Hub's Xayah here. It's going to be the double kill, it's going to be the tower, and it's probably even going to be a Baron.
Yeah, and that fight for PERTINAX really showed that CC and damage is crucial in the comps. So you can lock up a target if you got it. So they locked Frankie up pretty hard, and even with the ultimate, got CC'd, knocked up. Even Lulu ulted and couldn't stay alive. And then ETFI just flashed over, pressed R, and Frankie was dead. And because of the ice zombie, I call it, you have to back off because it deals so much damage. So Dark UniQ and Crapload were separated right there. And this is also the Cyan can mostly build armor in this game, because the Ari is not really a threat and is not going to hit him actually, so he can just go full armor again for the 4th time in a row today. A top lane is going full armor. So you have to have your mage be on point, but this is going to be the sole point for PERTINAX with the Cloud Dragon.
I mean, the timing wasn't that far off there on the Jinx Rocket, but beautifully played there from PERTINAX to make the perfect gap to let that Jinx Rocket pass through.
Yeah, just look at the bottom vision, so they probably knew that the Jinx was going to ult, and from where, so they just spread up. It's like if you play an MMO and there's a mechanic coming, so you just spread out. The call was right. Not there, but if...
Yeah. Now PERTINAX pushing hard there on top lane, getting another tower on their counter, and now their lead is really extending bigger and bigger. Almost 6k by now. Objective bounties has been activated for DYNASTY, so that means they're really in a tough position here, and with that Baron, of course, it might only get tougher. DYNASTY Frankie, sorry, was trying to get some purchase here, at least on the bot lane, taking out a tower.
Yeah, but they are still 6k behind, and there's another tower for PERTINAX.
Yeah, taking another tier 2 there on the mid lane.
Yeah, and if you're behind as Kindred, it's really hard. It's getting harder, and every second passes, the Kindred has will struggle even more to get these stacks. Now you can only get stacks from team fights, so you actually have to know which enemy champion you're killing to enhance your passive. Because you don't go to the enemy Razor Beaks at the tier 2 tower just like that. With the vision set up from PERTINAX, they know they have every entry and exit of the jungle warded. Well, bot lane is not needed now. They probably want to go for the Baron because the Cloud Soul is not the strongest soul, so they just ward up everything on top for the Baron buff that's coming up. But actually they do it around the other way around, and they set up for bot vision. They took the vision was down. Actually thought they would go for the plan with the Baron. They probably didn't want to fight at the dragon, so they are faster when with the soul and everything.
Yeah, maybe here even an engage now from PERTINAX as they are trying to catch Hazagi there. Nobody died just yet as Kindred's ult is being put down. But once again, it might be just a little too early. They are missing the tankiness to keep these fights running until they can get some damage across. And with that, PERTINAX taking out Dark Unity and Yumalu, the main damage dealers of Dynasty. And with that, it should be an easy task here to finish the game for PERTINAX. Are going to take out both Hazaki and I don't know who was left alive. Peplot, I think. And with that, they're going to end this game and show that they're the better Dutch team.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, this was quite clear for the Dynasty team comp was for kiting, and what can they kite when they are getting bursted down? Nothing. So the PERTINAX was ahead almost every point of the game, and they just steamrolled into that. So in my opinion, I think the PERTINAX team comp was really good. You had good CC. You were in a situation in your pick and ban phase where you had to choose: do I prioritize jungle or do I go for a counter in the mid lane? They did the right choice to pick the Lissandra here to lock up the Ahri. It was a good idea. She was locked up. She couldn't catch anybody. And even the Rakan Zaya is not easy to kill, because the Rakan can engage, and then from, I don't know, from the country, from the state, 2 blocks, you know, two states away, he can dash to the Zaya back, and like, yeah, it's pretty defensive for the Rakan, and he gets a bit of the damage buff and the dash, so it's really good for if you hit up Xayah or Rakan. But yeah, I enjoyed that game. It was more action than before. For the last game today, it was a bit of more action.
It was a little bit more action. It was a very deserved win for PERTINAX, and it was, of course, our last game of today. But before we finish this podcast, let's take a quick look at the standings at the end of game. At the end of day 3, basically, of the Division 2. Still unbeaten at the top of the ladder. We got Aurora and a Rift's loss with a clean 3-0. Right after that, we got Next and PERTINAX Esports were both a 2-1, accompanied but on the 5th position. PERTINAX Esports were also 2-1. Then we got 3 teams who still have to win their first game: Dynasty, JMGG, and Once Upon a Team. And QG,
yeah,
last week on, I didn't cast on Friday, on Wednesday actually already, I made a bet with Fashtana, and I want to make a similar bet with you today.
A what? A bet?
A bet.
Oh, yeah.
You know the team Once Upon a Team, right?
No.
Yeah,
who are
once
they?
again, Yeah, once again 0-3. They haven't won a single game in the spring split. They're definitely on a very long losing spree. And I'm asking you, do you think they will win a single game this summer?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You
What
believe
did,
so?
what did Fortuna say?
He also says yes, and I
Yeah,
said
but
no.
you see, we are the superiors. I think I was right. Today I was right with every team. After the pick and ban phase, you talked who would win, and I think I have 100% win rate. You can actually. I'm not sure, but I think I this game I was right. Rifsloft I was right. What was the game before? The first game I was right. I said the Zeri is going to win, and what was the second game? Was I
Second
right there?
game was
Was the Lucianami right? No, that
yeah,
was
it was next against Aurora. It was the game of the unbeaten,
yeah.
and
And
there we
Aurora
had
picked Lucianami, and I said they would win.
okay. Then good job on your prediction game.
So
And
once upon a team will win one game, at least.
okay. I wish them the same. I honestly hope, because leaving a split without a single win, that is never a cool thing. So I wish them the same, but I just hope that it won't be against with Slovs. Today they already lost, so they got one more chance to do that.
It would be funny if they would lose win against the Slavs.
That would definitely be fun.
Maybe I have to talk with the Slavs. Like, yeah, you can. I have a bet with Daniel with your boss. Can you, like, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Tell them that you have a bet with your boss. Anyways, I would like to wish everybody out there a wonderful evening. And we will see each other on Friday, exactly here on this Twitch channel at 19 o'clock for the 4th game day of Elite Series League of Legends Division 2. See ya!